Alright, welcome back to Riff's Garage, ladies and gentlemen. This episode, we're going to install a 79 to 86 Foxbody Mustang slash Capri slash Zephyr slash Fairmont slash LTD. That may cover it. Dash pad. I know you guys are going to be excited for this. Pop this off. Yeah, so who all has ever had to take the dash pad out of one of these cars? You lose screws, everything else, stuff breaks, you put it back together, and it's all loose and stuff's missing, and it just sucks, right? Well, let me show you the best way around that. Alright, so if you want to do a really good job at installing your dash pad, first off, pay attention to how it comes apart. Second off, go to Late Model Restoration, National Parts Depot, I think. Possibly CJ Pony Parts, I don't know. I know 100% Late Model Restoration says it, but get yourself that. Can you see that? Yeah, 79 to 86 dash pad hardware. Now what you're going to get is this. You're going to get the little clips and the screws. Now, all the clips on mine were all still good. So, I'm just going to use the screws. And I'm going to show you where they go. You have two different lengths of screws. You got 4 short and 4 long. So the short screws will go, you'll have one that'll go there, 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 and there. That's your short ones. Now, the reason you know that's the short ones is because the long ones may pop up through your pad. These pads are not cheap. This pad is a factory pad off of a Fairmont that I bought about 10 years ago out of a junkyard. It is not cracked. The speaker grills are all still nice. Everything is still nice, but it's extremely brittle. I could probably take and flip it and would probably knock a hole in it. So when I take this thing in and out, it's like performing some sort of major surgery. I mean, you have to be gentle, really gentle. So anyhow, I'm going to get you guys set up on a tripod. We're going to run these screws in. I'm going to put my trim piece on. And I'm going to show you the finished product. Yes. Alright, boys and girls. Before you put your faceplate on, remember you have a hidden screw right here. You got to get that in first. And I'm going to show you why that's important. Because see, this dash pad has a little bit of up and down give to it. So you want to put that thing in, hold it down, kind of snug, run this screw in. Remember, we're dealing with very, very old plastic. So, do not over tighten. Alright? You want to run it in until it stops. Turn it till you start hearing plastic crack. Back it off a quarter turn. It's calibrated. That's actually a lie. Run it in until it stops. Gently snug it. And you're good. Look here. It's good and tight, right? Now, I'm going to put this in. I have tilt steering, so that makes it nice doing stuff like this. This little doodad fits pretty snug. Alright. Now these I'm going to put in a little bit loose starting out until I get them all in. And then I'll go back and snug them up. That way, if you got a move anything around, or got a little bit of wiggle room, right? Like this one right here. Prime example. Now I'm going to snug that one down. Okay. Come back and snug this one down. Yep. Another fun fact. You guys have heard me say multiple times that I've owned this car since the late 90s. You have to think, from the 86 to the late 90s was a long time. This car had a lot of stuff wrong with it when I got it, right? The radio wiring was a hack. So this dash pad, well, not this dash pad, this is a dash pad out of like a Fairmont. But the factory dash pad, if I remember right, probably only had 2 or 3 screws holding it in. So that's another reason you get these old Fox bodies, man. I recommend getting the interior screw kit. I'm telling you, it will save you a ton of heartache. Just go ahead and get all that stuff, have it. For what you get, it's pretty cheap. It's well worth the money. And also get you a good, this is a Harbor Freight dual brand screwdriver, but it's got a good tip on it, and it holds the screws pretty good. When you put the screws in up here, you're going to need a good tip screwdriver to hold the screws in so you don't drop them down the vents. Now, when you run these back screws in, there's not a lot of material for all that to catch on to. So be very, very gentle when you put those in. And I really think these kits have 2 screws missing. Because there's 4 screws up there. There's 1 here, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 screws total, and they only send you 8. So I don't know if maybe they leave out these. They all hold the dash pad on. So I don't know. Anyhow, I'm just going to drop that screw. I'm just going to go with it. Kind of going into it blind, you got to kind of get a feel for it a little bit. Get my little trusty flashlight here. Alright. I'm going to put these in loose because these dash pads will start to warp over time. So I'm going to leave that one loose, just like I had to do these, because I had to push this. If you've seen the dash pad out of the car, it's kind of, the center is lower, like it's bowed up a little bit. And this piece right here, instead of coming flat across, kind of winged up a little bit. So that's why I left everything loose, so I could hold that down and tighten it up. Same thing over here. All right, I'm going to attempt, I may have to come block the camera to do this side, gentlemen. All right. So that's that. You guys can see my vents are nice and snug. I took these vents out of the old piece that was cut up, and I don't know if I made the video. I got footage of it, but it's kind of hacked up footage, so I just tell you. These vents, Ford put a piece of felt or foam on the top and bottom of the vents, and it looked like possibly the same material that goes around the vents that kind of seals the vent up. You can see the glue mark where the foam used to be. The problem is, you know, these things get spun all the time, so that foam eventually wears out, deteriorates, falls out. So I took the felt that goes in the T-top trim and I cut little thin strips of it. It's got a sticky back on it, and that's what I used on my vents. So now check this out. You hear how squeaky tight that is? It's not super tight, but it's tight enough to where they don't rattle. They're not going to make any noise. That one sounds good, actually. So that's a nice tip for you guys. These over here were already fairly snug, so I left them the way they were. But tech tip. All right, so let me get you off. Well, I'm gonna leave you on the tripod, but let me get out of the car and we're gonna talk about what we've done so far to the car. All right, guys, so what all have we done to the car? So I have, in the past couple months, I have redone the radio setup in it. All new radio wiring for the speakers. I did reuse the factory power wires for the radio. Let's see here, brand new speakers in the front and rear. For those guys that know, these cars only have 4 speakers total. You got the 2 3.5s in the dash, and the 5x7s or 4x6s maybe in the back. Yeah, 4x6s in the back. Redone all that. I redone the cluster, put brand new lens on it, brand new overlays, painted the needles. I took out the busted trim piece on the passenger side of the dash and put a nicer one in it and painted it, made it look good. I put nice A-pillar trim pieces in the car, painted those, made those look good. I painted up and put brand new T-top trim pieces in the car, so those are nice and clean. All brand new antenna wiring, antenna housing, all that stuff is new. Let's see here, things that I have left to do. What I have left to do is to take the armrest off, and I got to paint it. It's a different shade of red. I think it's the red that Ford used from maybe 84 or 83, 79 to 83. I forget what color they call it, but it's not Canyon. It's more of a red. So I got to take it off, scrub it up real good, put some dye on it. I got to clean the car out because right now where I've been working, thrashing in it, it's pretty dirty. I'm going to take the T-tops out and paint the gray trim piece on the outside of them to match where I painted everything else. That'll make that look nice and clean. Let's see here. What I would like to do before Ponies in the Smokies is take this ugly fiberglass hood off and put a stock hood back on it. The problem with that is I don't know if I want to have clearance. So I have the Edelbrock RPM2 intake, and I have to run a spacer to clear the valve covers. So, two options. I could either take the spacer off, modify the throttle bracket for the cable, or I can get spacers and basically shim the K member. That's the hardest thing to do because you got to hook up to the engine. You got to, you got to lift everything. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Or I may get lucky and the hood fits. It looks like it's not going to fit, but I may get lucky. Also, I have the correct hatch for the car that has the third brake light in it. So I'm thinking about swapping out the hatch before Ponies in the Smokies. That's going to be a little bit more involved because I got to take the interior panel out so I can unplug and plug in the wiring harness for the brake light and defrost and all that. So, a few more things left to do. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Everything else on the car is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. And yeah, it's good enough. I'm going to probably put a different size front tire on it, hopefully before then. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much kind of the rundown on what I've been doing to the car, what I've got done to the car. But dash pad install complete. I hope that install helps somebody. I know it's a pretty basic install and there's really not a lot to them, but yeah, just remember those dash pads are brittle. Unless you have a brand new one, then I've never seen a brand new one, so I don't know how good the material is. They may be okay. My phone's been blew up. My wife's been texting me about 16,000 times, which is fine. But yeah, let me flip the camera around and give you guys a nice view of the inside of the car and what I've done to the dash. And we're going to end this video. So yeah, check it out. So yeah, nice and clean. Nice and clean. Ignore all the garbage in the seat and floorboard. That's all going to be. Oop, give you a better view. I'm going to pop in here. It's going to get a little bit crazy. Yeah. So, guys, that's all I have for this video. I know it's been a while since I posted one, but 79 to 86, Foxbody, Mustang, Capri, whatever else Ford put these things in. Hope you guys could use this. Hope it helps somebody out. If it does, like, share, subscribe. But anyhow, boys, love you guys. Peace.